and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Posted For You, and we're going to create this beautiful fun card. I'm going to do it in different colours, where we have the whole of the little bird stamp behind, and we've then taken a little bird at the front and just made it a beautiful card. So this one was done with cinnamon cider. We're going to do the next one in Misty Moonlight, I think. Misty Moonlight. So we need to take this little stamp here, which has got the lovely little birds on, and we need to just pop that in on a block and just put it down as straight as you can get it, sort of in the center of the block. Okay, then we're going to do a mask. Now, I've done lots of masks before. I do them with copy paper because then you don't get any ridges running along the lines. So we're just using it with copy paper, and I make it exactly the same size. You can mask it down if you want to, but to be quite honest, you probably won't need to do that. So the first thing we need to do is to get a good black ink, and we are literally going to, I'm going to bring this all down just a little bit nearer to me so it makes it a bit easier. We are going to, so excuse if my head comes in, we're going to take the first one just slightly on and slightly off. And then if you line it up just sort of next door to it, you can get the next one. And it doesn't have to be exactly one on top of the other, as it were. So I want this one to go in sort of on the center, so I've got different directions for the birds, that they're not all completely in a straight line. And then again, just take that one to the edge, and we'll do the little last one down in here to the edge. So as I say, you can have a little bit of a space in between, but then once you remove the mask, there's me removing the mask like that, you have your perfect little circle. And then it's a matter of doing some colouring. So I'm going to choose blends for this one. I'm just going to clean my block down, or my stamp down, before I put it away. And this little bird is the first birds that I did was sort of robin like. So if you look on this one, we've got sort of little pinky breasts rather than red breasts, because I wanted it fairly neutral. This time I'm going to use what have we got? We've got Old Olive, so let's Old Olive Light, so let's use that to start off with. And literally you are just going to go through on the leaves. So I'm just literally all the way round on all of the leaves. I'm using the wider tip brush only because it takes it has a very fine brush and it is quite easy to use. So here I've got this little tiny leaf that's right up on the top. So as I say, just work your way down. I'm going quiet now, aren't I? Because I'm concentrating on the colouring. Depending how juicy or new your blends are will depend how much ink comes out. So you can vary it, but I find if I get near to the tip, I just do like little tiny dotty bits, because then it means that your ink's not going to come all the way up on there. Now I don't think I'm going to do much shading in this one, because I don't think we actually need it, because it's just going to have all of the different tones coming through. So I'm just going to take this down. But I always do one part the whole lot first. So as I say, I'm doing all of these little leaves, and it reminds me of the some of the patterns you get on china and things. You can have beautiful bird patterns in there, but I just thought it went really well with the birds. And it also, when it's finished, even though it's one-dimensional apart from the little bird that we're going to put up on top, it almost looks three-dimensional, because being a circle, it just pops out very easily. So I'm just, as I say, taking all of these down. Colouring it through. As I say, you can whiz past this bit if you want to. Just in on the edge. So when you get to your edge pieces, make sure that you are colouring right up to that little edge, because that's what makes it look quite sort of three-dimensional on it. So almost done. And again, I'm doing this quite quickly. I would probably spend just a little bit more time, and probably maybe do a little bit of shading in there, but you don't have to, depending how quickly you want to do. But the whole thing will only probably take about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes to colour in, which really isn't too bad. And if you're not a colourist, then it's quite a simple one to do, because you're literally just doing all the leaves in green. The little birds are going to be in brown with like a little blue breast, and that's really it. So, you know, don't panic too much about thinking, oh my goodness, I've got a lot of colouring to do, because you don't actually have too much. Okay, so that's all the green part. And then we're going to take the, now I've taken for this one, because I kind of like it quite pale, this is the ivory. So with the ivory we're going to do the whole of the bird. So again, because it's quite of a pale colour, it means that the rest of the bird shows through quite well. If you end up doing it too dark, you end up with the definition of the bird being lost within the colour. So, you know, again, it's down to preference and how much you want to actually put on there. But where we get the little bird coming up right onto the edge, you want to take it right up to that edge part and then come down, so that you're making sure that you've got everything. I've missed one little leaf there. Everything right the way up to the edge of your circle. And I haven't done any sponging on or anything around the edge of the circle, because it actually really doesn't need it. So I'm just taking that, because that's going to be the little part of the other bird. So as I say, it's quite a simple card to do, but incredibly effective once you start colouring it. So, and then you can, depending what colour cardstock you're going to use, you can tone the bird in to make it match the cardstock that you're working with. So with this one, I'm literally just going to add a little bit of a blue breast to the little bird once we finish. Just got a couple more to do. Just take this one in here. And just take this one in here. I find colouring quite relaxing actually. I quite often, if I just want to unwind or de-stress, or you know, come in and just lose yourself in a little bit of colouring. Okay, so that's the birds done. And now Misty Moonlight would be far too dark, so I'm going to use, this is Balmy Blue, and it is the pale. So I think the pale is going to be, let's have a look, that's the pale, or the light rather, that's the dark. So let's have a look at the dark and see which is, I'm going to use the light. I don't want it to tone in too much on there, so we're going to take the light and we're just going to literally do from where his little, there we go, just where his little face is, just underneath his eye, down in sort of like a little half moon. So you're literally just giving just a little bit of colour like that. So then you've got your little bluebirds on there. And then what I did was I stamped and coloured in exactly the same colours. One of the little birds from the Best Birds. Let me get that set out. Is it Best Birds? Is it? Oh, you can't see something when you're trying to run along a shelf looking for it. And I think it's Best Birds. Yes. So anyway, I cut the little bird out. Now we've got a new bird stamp set. And you could again use the little bird on there, but I really like this little bird. I think it's very sweet. In fact, here we are, Free as a Bird is the bird one we want, and you could do this one and fussy cut it out and put that at the bottom. However, that was going to take me too much time for this video, so I've done the singular bird. But as I say, if you want to do the whole lot, that would also look beautiful. So putting this together, I am using a piece of Misty Moonlight, and we're going to just put that on there. That gives us the background. Then I've got a little strip here which is the same width as my card, so whatever your width is. And this is 1.5 inches. So again, whatever is going to sit just at the bottom. And I chose the rather nice bark, you know, wood grain element on there because I thought that was nice. Sending Love Your Way is the sentiment from the Posted For You, so Sending Love Your Way. I really like that one because if you're doing it that it comes right the way across your card, it fits perfectly. And then we're going to put the little bird in, just in like that, tucked in, so just a little bit of him pokes out through on the other one. And you could put some twine on there, you could put some ribbon round there. Twine looks quite nice. We've got some lovely new twine and things in there. I've actually got some old blue which I think will work really quite nicely, so I'd probably just put a piece of that round there and you know, then pop it all together like that. So let's have a go at putting this one together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this onto here. Now I'm using the new seal, which, as you know, I've been struggling with. So somebody said to me, very, very light touch. So let's see. That's so light it hasn't even come out at all, but let's have a go. Okay, very light touch on here. Hardly touching the paper. Nope, does exactly the same, and is becoming quite stringy now, whereas I've had to roll it on quite a lot. So touch, hardly touch your paper. No, it's not even coming out at all. Okay, hardly touch the paper. No, you do need to touch it enough that it goes on there, and if you get it so that it's on top of another piece, it seems to sort of grab it enough to sometimes move it on, or not, as the case may be. I'm getting used to just rolling it along. As I say, it's not going to be my favourite, as I said before, but while I've got it, I will use it, and I've got a refill, so I will use that and just see what I think. So that's going to go down there with the Misty Moonlight. Then we're going to take this nice little strip piece, and these are the new in colour paper stack, which is absolutely lovely. Oh dear, this, I keep turning around and saying, one of the ladies said in the last video about patience, and I was like, yep, you have to have patience with these things, but it's certainly not my favourite at all. I cannot get to grips with this, to be quite honest. And this is what's so frustrating, because you know you want to do something nicely, and it just will not stick at all. Right, bring it along again. No, it's not coming out at all now, so let's twist it round. Right. Oh, it doesn't want to work at all now. Let's see if we can get that. Why is it not? What's it stuck on then? Right, stick it up to that bit. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put this little piece down on the bottom. And this is going to go exactly in on the bottom. Like that. Oh, I was going to put some ribbon on. Never mind, we're not going to have ribbon on this one. I was so faffing about with this new seal, getting myself in a right what's it. But as I say, it will... it's like everything, what do they say? Practice makes perfect, but I have been using it quite a bit, and I still can't get to grips with it running smoothly from one piece to the other. So this is going to have Sending Love Your Way, and that's going to go down in on the centre here, out to the edge, which is nice. And then we're just going to have, we'll have a large dimensional in the bigger, in the centre. And then I really like the minis, because you can put one right on his little head and one right down, just not quite where his tail is, but enough that gives it that stability. And then we'll just take these ones off. Just taking it through. Oops. There we go. And then we'll just tuck the little bird in so that his little feet are just underneath. His tail's just on the edge. And then he can just come in at that angle like that. Okay, so I need a card base. Have I got a card base cut? I have on my other side of my desk. Let's get that out. Okay, so we then have, oh, this is a nice landscape one. So I just put that one in on there. I'm going to take this scrappy paper out so you can then see both of them. So we have a lovely blue one with a blue bird, and we've got a cinnamon cider with a robin type bird. But you can see that the depth of that pattern, and it goes perfectly with the little bird. So thank you so much for watching me. It's the Posted for You, and it's the little bird, and it's the Free as a Bird for the little bird on there. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again, and as always, stay safe and stay well and be kind. Bye bye.